I didn't update the live dashboard. It's okay. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Holy Joe Rock and Roll coming at you live and unscripted. Just came back from the barber. Kapow! Anyhow, I want to talk to you today about Act 447. Tries to legitimize extra-legal demands of massive property transfers to groups with no legitimate claims here in Poland. There is a petition on petitions.whitehouse.gov, right there, that you can sign until the end of May to petition the White House, to petition President Donald J. Trump to not sign this bill. It's not a law yet, that passed the House and the Senate. Now, obviously, this proves that Zog is in control of the U.S. government because there's no rational rhyme or reason for this. Let's consider the millions of Palestinians who have no right of return, to whom Israel has promised reparations but has made no effort thus far to pay them for the land that the Israelis have stolen from the Palestinians. Now, there's a couple of major differences between what has happened in Palestine and what happened in Poland. In the case of Poland, reparations were made at the end of World War II to settle all cases, and this has been acknowledged by international law and the United States. Subsequent to that, this bill 447 tries to say that because a particular group of people may have at some time in the distant past owned a piece of property, but there are no relatives, there are no heirs to the property to claim it, that some third-party group should therefore take ownership of the property and or be compensated by the Polish state, meaning the government. It's totally unfair, it's totally unrealistic, it's totally nonsensical, because as anyone knows, if you don't pay your taxes, your property is taken away from you. Now, right now, these are properties, and I don't know to what extent they really are, but I have a suspicion that I know there are properties in Krakow, for instance, that were owned by people of this group who perished, and they're owned by the state, and right now they're basically like a Section 8, so they're basically used to house very poor people. Okay, and sometimes they're in very prime locations, but no one's paying taxes on them, no one's renovating the buildings, no one's keeping them up, so they're in very bad disrepair. Now, I would propose the following, that any extra legal claims on the property would have to, number one, first pay all back taxes plus interest plus penalties, just like any other supposed owner would have to pay. They'd also have to pay for all state paid maintenance and whatever else regarding the property, plus penalties plus interest. That's number one, before they can make a claim. So if there's a property that some group is trying to say that they want to own, they should pay up for all the arrears, plus interest, plus dividends. And on this group knows all about interest. So they should be very happy to calculate that and pony it up. Then they can make their claim. Now, because they are not related in any way, shape, or form to the original owners or the last legal owners, their case would be probably dismissed. Now, that's what I would recommend. This bill is complete nonsense. And I don't know what the U.S. government is doing, even voting on this, proposing this. Obviously, again, it's because there is a ZOG occupying the government in the United States, exercising vastly overrated, out of bounds control, out of bounds influence. And it makes no sense. So where is the Bill 447 for Israel, for the Palestinians, to grant them? These people are still alive. Their relatives are still alive. And they're not being compensated for the property that was stolen from them. So think about it. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. So, so number one, if this were to pass, that's what I would that's what would have to happen. That any claimants would have to pony up the tens of billions of dollars, as we have 70 years of non-payment plus interest plus dividends, and it's compounded. And this group knows all about compound interest from the 200 years with us, as written by Andrzej Stolsaliski. English version, translated English version is available online. If you Google it, you can find it. I've been reading it. It is horrific, and it's historical, and it is just documented to the yin-yang with footnotes, etc. Anyhow, the second thing is Polish bureaucracy is very slow. So the second step, if this were to happen, and if Poland wanted to play nice, quote unquote, and say, yeah, we'll take your claim, the first step is to pony up the tens of hundreds of billions of dollars to make whole your property, paying the government back taxes, plus interest, plus penalties for the last 70 years. That would be number one. And then number two, it would have to go into a Polish bureaucracy, which we know will take about 40 years. Take about 40 years to process the paperwork. So that's the only, I mean, if Poland wanted to play nice, that's what they could do. That's how I would recommend playing it. But on the other hand, I don't know if you heard I believe it's a New York court just assessed $12 billion in damages against Iran for the 9/11 attacks. Now, how did that happen? There were 19 hijackers on 9/11. 15 of them were from Saudi Arabia. Do you know how many of them came from Iran? 0. So how is Iran being sued and asking and being demanded to pay compensation for what happened on 9/11? Well, what happened in a legal sense is Iran was sued, the government of Iran was sued, and nobody showed up. Right? Nobody showed up to contest it. So what happened was the plaintiffs got what's known as a default judgment. When the party you're suing doesn't show up to defend themselves, the judge, at its discretion, can grant what's known as a default judgment, which means because you didn't show up, by default, you lose. And it's complete nonsense because I've seen no evidence that Iran had anything to do with 9/11. Now, we know 15 of the 19 hijackers came from Saudi Arabia. We know that the missing 28 pages talked all about Saudi Arabia's involvement in planning for 9/11. We know that Saudi Arabian government financed a dry run or a practice run about 9/11. So Saudi Arabia is who should be sued in this case, not Iran. So Iran obviously is ignoring this, and there's really no way to enforce this judgment. It's like $12 billion. It's insanity. So the second stage, now I'm not a lawyer, I just play one on TV, and sometimes I sport the lawyerly haircut, Your Honor. We protest. Objection, Your Honor! Overruled! You're out of order! I'm making a citizen's arrest, Your Honor. You're under arrest. Anyhow, definitely Iran won't pay. So Poland should do the same thing. Poland could, there's a precedence there. And generally speaking, this is why civil law does not transfer boundaries, country boundaries. Think about it. Because see what just happened to Iran? So think about it. Imagine if I sued somebody here in Poland who lives in America, and I claim that I get an affidavit of service, meaning that for those who are uninitiated, I have a document signed by a third party that swears that they delivered the complaint to some third party in America. And then if they don't show up in the Polish court, I could get a default judgment against them, right? And then somehow execute that in the United States to get paid. Or vice versa. Imagine somebody doing that in the U.S. against me, and then coming to Poland with a piece of paper saying, hey, he owes me $100. The court said so in, whatever. The courts in California said he owes me $100. As it stands right now, the Polish courts are going to say, F you. If you want to sue this person, you need to start your suit in the Polish courts and basically start all over. Right? Thank you, AlphaGo. Thank you. He said, I'd have a nice haircut. Thanks. Yeah, it's pretty cool, man. Some Russian guy. Believe it or not. I think he might have been Ukrainian, but he spoke Russian. Or maybe I don't know. It's really weird. There's a couple of, sidebar. There's a couple of barbershops. The one that I did a video on before, and another one that's on Ulica Hospital. It means, translates into hospital. Michael, what's hospital in Polish?
Szpital.
Szpitalna. Szpital. Ulica Szpital?
Yeah.
Or Szpitalna. Anyway, I have a feeling they're owned by Russians, but they look like American barbershops, traditional barbershops. Okay, I'll check out, somebody said check out Patrick Little, who's standing against Dianne Feinstein. Yeah, so he did a really good job here with his haircut. But anyhow, it wasn't cheap though. But I got a chance to get in right away. I mean, so I didn't have to wait. So it was 50 zlotys, which is definitely more than I want to pay. The last haircut I got was, I think, 40 zlotys. That was reasonable. The guy washed my hair twice for whatever reason, just to be, I don't know, extra service. These guys today did not wash my hair. I don't like to have my hair washed. I wash my hair every morning anyhow. I don't need my hair to be washed. I'm not going to a frizarka or a beauty parlor. I'm going to a barbershop. So anyhow, anyway, it's a cool place. The guy was really good. Really, whatever. They're really serious here about the haircuts, So anyhow, let's get back on track here. Somebody's saying to check out this guy. I will check it out.
There's a question.
Yeah.
Who is Woo Woo?
Well said. Woo Woo said they would speed up things. Woo Woo. I'm not sure who Woo Woo is. I'm not sure who Woo Woo is. AlphaGo, if you could tell us who Woo Woo is. Or do you mean those people? That tribe? I'm not sure. Or Warsaw, maybe. Okay. Anyhow, so that's why civil judgments do not transfer country boundaries. If you want to get a civil judgment against somebody, or if you want to, like when O.J. Simpson, he was declared not guilty of murder, but then they sued him in civil court for wrongful death, okay? And the Brown family was able to win money from O.J. Simpson. So that's an example. So obviously if O.J. had fled the country after being declared not guilty and taken all of his assets with him, okay, Warszawa, Wawa, not woo-woo, we call it Wawa. Don't we? Wawa. W-A-W-A, not woo-woo.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, okay, no problem. That's anyway said. I don't know what that means, if they're going to speed things up, meaning stopping it or whatever. But anyhow, woo-woo, okay. Woo-woo, but Vava. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Listen, so that's what I'm suggesting. Okay, so how you can help out. Sorry to get to the back. Let me get back to this other screen. How you can help out is please go to petitions.whitehouse.gov and look for this Act S447. Just search for 447. You have to scroll down. Sign this petition. You just need your name first name, last name, and email, and you can click the box asking the White House not to contact you. This is a White House Gov petition. It goes right to the White House. The goal is to get 100,000 signatures to really bring us to the attention of the president. You're supposed to be a U.S. citizen. Yeah. The other point here is that these people who lost their properties were Polish citizens. Even if they were from another tribe, they were Polish citizens. And as Polish citizens, their property should go to the Polish state. The state of Israel did not exist. Hashtag no more wars for Israel. Did not exist until 1948, which was, what, 5, 6, 7, 8, 3 years after the end of World War II. Okay? Yeah, Michael Thomas, please tell your friends. Please tell as many friends as you can. Get the word out. Get as many people as you can to sign this petition. We really need to... I know there was another petition prior to this trying to bring attention to the people in the Senate and the House to oppose this, but this is just one thing you could do. Also, for all U.S. citizens who are watching this, please send this message to your friends, especially your Polish American friends, but anybody who's concerned, or maybe who knows history of World War II, and who knows that this so-called restitution is nonsense. They are demanding restitution of heirless property. That's a concept which carries a contradiction in terms, right? If there is no heir, there is no restitution to an heirless there is no heir to a property, there can be no restitution to the non-heir, right? That doesn't make any sense. So, like I said, I mean, imagine if you didn't pay your taxes in the United States, your property taxes, for several years. They would issue a tax lien against your property. They'd sell that tax lien to an investor because the state wants their money. And if you still didn't pay, they could foreclose on your house, basically, to get the whoever bought the tax lien can file legal motions in the civil process to take ownership of your house, basically to make them whole on the tax lien. Do you understand what I'm saying? So that's why, where do you sign the petition? You have to go to petitions.whitehouse.gov. Let me bring that back up. Petitions.whitehouse.gov, and when you get to the main page, you just got to scroll down. You'll see petitions like this. You'll see this is the main page. You can create a petition, but you want to just scroll down. At the moment, as I'm doing this, May the 4th, you got to click Load More, and then you should see it. You should see it on this page, right? Is it here? There it is, 447. So just you could actually do a find 447 on your, see that up in the corner there? If you do a find 447, you'll find it. Then you can click on it. It'll bring it up. It was created April 30th, so it was created just 4 or 5 days ago. And all you need is your name, first name, last name, and your email address. And if you want to, you can unclick this. The White House may send me emails about this and other issues, or not. Maybe you want to be contacted so that you can discuss your opinion on this. So I think it's really important that we as okay, hang on. Okay, here, let me get it on screen for you. Whoa. Hang on. Shit, I can't, it won't let me copy this, the link. But anyways, it's petition. I just want to copy this part. Copy. Kapang. Okay, let's go back. And put this on. And hang on, give me a couple seconds here. I can text new. Interesting. Takes a little while. Oh, I guess put that in there. Okay. Okay, see it there? Let me, petitions, yeah, Control-C, Control-V, yeah, thanks a lot. Making a solid background color, there it is. It's https://petitions.whitehouse.gov is where you need to go to accomplish this mission, if you choose to accept it. All right? So I hope that helps everybody. I hope that can help get the word out. It's a really important issue. And you can read part of the act online on this petition, which kind of describes a little bit of it. But look, it makes no sense from all kinds of angles, from a historical angle, from a factual angle, and from just a common sense angle, that some third party should be able to claim ownership of some property that has defaulted to the state ownership because there is no heir. Okay? And I guess what they're demanding is some, you know, like $1 trillion to $300 billion, some crazy amount of money, or I think it's even $1 trillion. So it's just a shakedown by this particular group of people, which is not uncommon. I think they've finished getting their money from Germany, and now they're looking for another, I guess, cow to milk, so to speak, and it's just not going to happen. So I've given my thoughts on two options for the Polish government. Number one, if they wanted to so-called play nice, you know, just say, yeah, well, if you're interested in claiming this property, you know, you need to pay up the 70 years of back taxes plus interest plus dividends plus penalties, which would probably be, you know, hundreds of billions of dollars per property. And then you can file your claim once the money's transferred to the Polish government. And then it'll take probably 40 years for the Polish bureaucracy to go through the paperwork and figure out that there's nobody left. And there'll be, you know, all kinds of motions and you know, hundreds of millions of dollars in legal costs for the applicant. And maybe the judge will say, no. Yeah, S is for Senate. This was a Senate bill that, as far as I know, was also passed by the House. And it is headed to President Trump's desk. Okay? So we need to get the word out. We need people to be aware of this, and we need to get as many people to sign this petition as possible. I'm not involved in the petition personally, but I just found out about it, and I wanted to spread the word, and that's really how I'm trying to help out. Okay? So will you believe that my video, the 10 things that I love about Poland, has been demonetized? I think I have something like 49,000 views on that video, and I just looked and noticed that my revenue is down again. I mean, it's not even worth talking about. It's not even, maybe I could buy a beer. Maybe I could buy maybe I could buy a 6-pack of some cheap watered down beer a month based upon what my revenue stream is now, which is ridiculous. So if you see any ads on my videos and you're on Wi-Fi or you have unlimited bandwidth, click on the link, right? Because sometimes when you click on the link, it's a click to get paid type of thing. Sometimes, other times it might just be, you know, CPM, which is clicks per 1,000, right? So that wouldn't matter. But if you see an ad, do me a favor, just click on it. And also, if you can support this channel, you know, I have Patreon, patreon.com/HJRR, or Holy Joe Rock and Roll, doesn't matter. Information is in the description box. Or if you feel blessed by this broadcast, feel free to send me a one-time PayPal payment if you like. PayPal/me, I think it is. Anyways, details are in the description box. Only if you feel like it. Only if you have a couple extra shekels in your pocket, if you know what I'm saying. All right? All right, everybody. This has been Holy Joe Rock and Roll. I'm coming at you live and definitely unscripted. And I want to remind you to always make it happen for the captain, because you're the captain.
We're fully trained and we're on to the team. We saw you coming and we were ready. You can run, but you cannot hide. we're coming for you now. You can run, but you cannot hide. 'Cause we're coming for you now. Deep state implosion overdrive.